What's quack-a-lacking, guys? I'm a Duck Quack here, and welcome back to another episode on our Talk Time series. Now, if you're still enjoying these series, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and comment with any questions. But let's just jump straight into this video. So in this video, we're going to look at the market crashes that happen on FIFA. We're going to look at what causes them, what forces them to happen, what external factors play a part in it, what EA do to support it, all of these kind of things. And it all starts with the amount of players that are placed onto the market exceed that as to the demand. So for example, let's say 10 people played FIFA. There were just 10 people playing and there were 5 Pjanic cards available. Now at the start of FIFA, there's 5 Pjanic cards. One of them's on the market. The other 4 players absolutely love this card. So that leaves 5 people that are fighting between one Pjanic one-to-watch card. Due to this, everybody wants him, and the price is really, really high, which puts people off buying him. Now let's say that out of those 5 people that initially had him, 3 of these people don't want him anymore. So 3 of those cards are listed on the market between 5 people. This massively brings the price down because there's almost enough cards to go around everybody who's after him. Now let's say at the start, the 5 people that get him don't want him at all. All 5 of those are listed on the market. Now we're in a stage where the supply available on the market massively outweighs the demand for it. So unless every other player wants it, then this card isn't going to sell on the market unless it's for ridiculously cheap. Now this is what starts driving prices down and causing a market crash. Now there's external factors that can affect this, but the key ones in previous FIFAs have always been big events. Now the reason a big event causes this is because during a big event, loads and loads and loads of packs are opened by the player base. Now what this does is exactly the same as in our scenario before. More and more people, let's keep it with Pjanic as well, more and more people pack Pjanic, they list him on the market, and as more and more become available, the demand stays consistent, but the supply starts increasing. So the same amount of people kind of want this card. Maybe they have a price in mind they want to pay. Maybe they don't want to pay the price it's at. But as more and more get packed, less and less are being bought. And hence the price that they're being listed up for keeps getting lower and lower and lower until it hits rock bottom, where it can only recover again from. Now the more packs that are opened, obviously the more of this card that are produced. And hence the lower the price of the player will go. This is the first reason as to why a market crash happens, and it was very, very common in previous FIFAs. Now we get up to, let's say 2017 with this FIFA. Now everybody knows when market crashes happen. So we were coming up to Team of the Year. Everyone was saying there's going to be a market crash. We came up to Black Friday. Everybody assumed there was going to be a market crash. So how does this change the actual market crash that happens? Well, this is quite simple because everybody's expecting this to happen. So firstly, we've got everyone on the likes of Reddit. We've got all the big YouTubers that talk about it. We've got forums across the place. We've just got friends talking about it, word of mouth, everything. If out of these 10 people that we had to start, 5 of these people had been playing FIFA beforehand, the other 5 are brand new. Let's assume that just one of those people knew how the market crash went down. So this one person, he sells up all his stuff early, gets good money for it. The event rolls round, the market crashes as expected, he picks up his players for cheap. Absolutely fantastic, he's played the market. Now let's assume that 5 of these 10 players knew about it. So 5 of these players cash out all their cards quickly, the prices of the market plummet before the crash. Then it gets round to when everybody's opening the packs. They're all opening their packs, they're all listing up their players, but these 5 people no longer have a team. So they're wanting to rebuy the players that they sold before. Because it's a very even split as to how many prepared for it and how many people are opening packs, they're most likely going to be buying back their players for a very similar cost as to what they sold them for before. So in this scenario, it's not hugely beneficial. They may save a little bit of coins, they may make a little bit of profit from doing this, but it's not going to be massively beneficial in the long run. Now let's assume that 4 of those 5 players are just normal players, and the 5th one's a YouTuber or a influential figure on Reddit or something big. And what he says to all of his followers is, look guys, I can see a market crash happening. It happens every year. Let's get rid of our teams and then buy it back when it happens. Now out of the other 5 players that had no idea of this, let's just assume 2 of these players, so 40% of the rest of the player base, follow some kind of media, forum, advice, or whatever. They also sell their players beforehand. This leaves us with 7 players selling up, 3 of them not selling up. So all these 7 players put all their cards onto the market at the same time. What they're doing is causing a market crash. So by doing this, the first one lists up their Pjanic. The second one then comes, sees the cheapest Pjanic, undercuts it by a tiny bit. The third one does the same. The fourth one does the same. And these cards aren't selling because the demand hasn't changed for these. But everybody keeps listing them. Up to the point where they're basically paying nothing. Other people decide, well, I might as well pick it up at that price. They pick it up. Then the event rolls round, packs are opened, etc., etc. And then these 7 people, a huge percentage of the player base, decide, okay, I actually want to build a team now. And I'm going to have to pay more than what I actually sold them for. This is what happens during a recovery. So the market settles, and this can be during the packs being opened. When packs are opened, there's different categories of players that are going to be affected. You've got your discard golds, your discard gold rares. These are going to be packed a ton. The demand is never going to match supply unless the squad builder challenge is available that needs this card. So they are always going to drop in price. No matter how much you prepare for this, they will always drop in price. Then you've got your mid-tier players up to the top-tier players. Now, the top-tier players are the ones that get affected by this the most. They're the ones that rebound the hardest. You've got your ones just under the top tier, the likes of Dybala or Aubameyang. These ones also rebound pretty well. This gets less effective as the year goes on. And then you've got your mid-range players, the likes of maybe Matuidi, maybe Aaron Ramsey, Pastore. These guys will still have a sufficient demand. And not only will they have a sufficient demand like they did before, but all of the players that didn't have many coins before said big event now have a load of coins from opening these packs and hence want these kind of players because it's unlikely that they can afford the top names. So their demand also goes up. So there is a good chance they'll all recover as well. The point of all this is that the more people that expect something to happen, the less likely it is going to happen. So we're now at the stage where we're coming up to Team of the Season and we're still weeks away from this. It could be anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks until EA start releasing the Team of the Season event. We've got huge YouTubers talking about a market crash. There's posts on Reddit daily talking about a market crash. People are tweeting talking about a market crash. And more people are reading these, listening to them, watching them, and then telling their friends about it. And their friends are telling someone else about it. And then eventually we're getting to the stage where YouTubers that had no idea about it, Redditors that had no idea about it, are creating their own content, telling people and advising people to sell up because a market crash is going to happen. Now the problem with this is these people don't really have any idea why. They know that because someone big said it who usually gets stuff right, that it's most likely going to happen. But if you're not understanding why and you're telling people to do it, then it breeds panic and the same people will follow your message, not fully understanding why, and spread it to other people again. That leads us to a point, like in the initial scenario, where maybe 50% to 70% of people, and that might be a slight exaggeration, but it's just for the purpose of this video, a huge portion of the player base anyway, are selling up their cards in anticipation of a crash, but ironically, that's what's actually causing the pre-crash before the event even happens. So by selling up all their players, what they're doing is making everything on the market cheaper because it's going to be a crash. Then everything is going to start to recover up until the event where, yes, there may be another small crash with Team of the Season because it's kind of like the big hurrah. It's the last big event. But most people aren't going to be able to afford Team of the Season cards. Even if most people sold up all their club now and were on 200,000-300,000 coins, the Team of the Season cards they want aren't going to be affordable within that budget. So what most people are going to end up doing are rebuying most of the team they initially sold, and the prices could very well have gone up. Now, what are other reasons that could make the prices go up during such a big event? So we all sell our cards at the moment when nothing's going on. There's no huge squad builder challenges going on apart from the league SBCs, obviously. So there's no huge demand for 84 plus players at the moment. So we just all get rid of them. Prices are quite low. Prices keep getting lower and lower and lower. Team of the Season rolls round. Now, let's imagine that EA decide, right, so we're going to release a Team of the Week SBC. We're going to release big SBCs for each Team of the Season. So we're going to release 3 Premier League players that didn't quite make it, but we feel like they deserve one. Then we're going to do the same with Bundesliga, Calcio A. And then suddenly, all of these players that everybody planned on buying back during a market crash that was going to happen with this event, they're not cheap anymore. They're double the price of what these people sold them for in the beginning. This is why it's just so risky to follow trends. This is why when I'll put out advice, so say I say to someone, okay, I believe that this is a good investment right now. I always give you the price he's currently at. I always give you the reasoning as to why it's a good investment. So let's say that I thought Pjanic was a good investment. I'd tweet out or make a video saying, look, Pjanic is a good investment at this price in this market for this reason, and this is what could happen. With the market crash, we're not getting all that information. We're getting team of the season is going to come around, player prices are going to drop, sell up your team now. But in reality, what I've just explained makes a lot of sense. That is exactly what could happen. So if nobody here nobody here predicted a team of the season market crash, nobody sold up, we would get a team of the season market crash. That's how it works. If everybody predicts a team of the season market crash, everybody sells up early, causes a market crash, and then team of the season rolls round, and then prices start to recover, and everybody is super confused. This is the basic logic, and this is exactly what happens, and has been happening for the whole of this FIFA cycle. If you remember the Lunar event, nobody predicted it. So I had no idea they were going to release such a big event. Nobody really saw it coming, and it hurt. It hit us suddenly, the market crashed, and everything went as it should do when nobody prepares. Then obviously after a while the market started rebounding again, and we're back to the stage where everybody tries predicting what's going to happen. Like with Footmas, there was a crash before the event, and during the event player prices went through the roof. This has just become a routine throughout the year. We have to realize EA control the market now. They've always had some control, but they can tell us which players they want us to discard in an SBC. They can tell us how much a player is worth by just making them needed in an SBC. Everything is a lot more controlled, and hence we can't just expect patterns to repeat themselves. Anyway, guys, I've been waffling for a little bit now, and I hope I've got at least the basics of the message across to you guys. So if you do have any questions and I have really confused you, please just drop a comment down below, or if you've got any discussion points or topics that we can build on or develop, that's brilliant. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, leave comments down below. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and again guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.